You have such a unique perspective because you've been on the debate stage. We are getting close to this debate happening.
Yeah.
How are the candidates preparing right now?
Well, they each do different things, but one of the best things to do is not be overcoached. So in the last couple days before I was headed to the first debate 8 years ago, where I stood on the stage with Donald Trump, like many of the others will be on the stage come Wednesday, is you kind of go through your whole routine. We went to the state fair. It was this time of year. We headed off to Cleveland, and then I went out for a run. Just clear your mind, get your focus on life in general, and don't be over prepared, because otherwise you don't want to sound like your canned responses. You want to be who you are.
So is Donald Trump for sure not coming to this
I think it's pretty clear now. In fact, what I've heard talking to some folks, talked to him last week, is he might not come to any of the debates. I've argued that's a mistake. I think not only for Republican voters, we just did a nationwide poll of college and high school age students across the spectrum from all over the country, and they said they want to hear from all the candidates in the debate. But more importantly, for a lot of young people who are 18, 19, 20 years old, just their first time voting for president, 8 years ago, they were kids. They weren't paying attention to this. This is a unique chance not only to talk to Republican voters, but to voters in general, particularly young people, and I hope he'll reconsider.
Is that going to benefit the other candidates? Maybe they get more out, maybe they don't have to worry about a former president on the stage with them?
There's no doubt about it. When Donald Trump's on the stage, he takes things over. I saw it firsthand. I was standing next to him 8 years ago at the first debate. So it gives them a unique opportunity, but they got to make the most of it. They can't, for these candidates, each one of them, they can't just be adequate. They've got to be dynamic, they've got to be bold, they've got to be full of passion, they've got to be confident. And most importantly, they've got to really capture the imagination of the voters out there. If they do that, if they have a breakthrough moment, this could be one of those moments, this time in the campaign where you look back and say, that's where things changed. If they don't, if they're just adequate, it's not a matter of just not screwing up. They have to be bold, they have to break through. If they don't do that, then it, in fact, may have the reverse effect. It actually might help President Trump.
Who do you think is going to stand out Wednesday?
Ron DeSantis has to. All the pressure's on him. He was, up until this time, viewed as the primary opponent, if there was one, in the primary season to Donald Trump, the president. But right now, I look at him, it's make or break. But in terms of somebody who really, I think, could surprise people, Senator Tim Scott. I looked a few years ago at the RNC convention. I thought he gave the best speech. I think he's got a powerful story. I think he's running the right strategy. He's going to places that Republicans typically don't do. He went on The View. He's talking to groups and places that maybe Republicans aren't always comfortable at. And thus far, he's been both bold in that regard, but he's also been careful not to directly attack President Trump. I think there'll be a lot of people who will have heard of him, but maybe haven't fully experienced his story and his narrative, and he could have one of those breakthrough moments. For Mike Pence and for Nikki Haley, both of them known, but not necessarily rising in the polls, I think for them, this is a critical time. If they don't make inroads in this debate, they're going to have a tough time going. On the other hand, if they do, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win, but it might be that moment that kind of revives their campaign.
What should voters really be listening for? This is an opportunity for voters to hear from so many candidates. What should they be listening for?
You want people who are bold yet believable. So you want a bold plan. There's some big things happening. I just pumped gas in my car yesterday. It was nearly $4 when I went to Quick Trip per gallon. That is eye-opening for a lot of us who were happy to see gas prices go down again. Gas, groceries, housing, all those costs are up. We want people who are bold about what are they going to do to turn things around, but they also have to be believable. You can't just throw big ideas out without a real concrete explanation of how you're going to actually get it done. That's the key, bold but believable.
Before you're governor, you served this county very well. You served the city of Milwaukee very well. For this to be happening in Milwaukee, how key is that?
It's huge. The mayor and I, a week ago, I was at the Milwaukee Rotary Club with the press club, and the mayor and I were talking about this. And years ago, I'd helped try to bring the DNC here. Obviously, we got it, but it didn't turn out the way we wanted because of COVID. Now with the RNC's convention next summer, the preview, if you will, the warm-up act with the first presidential debate, this puts Milwaukee on the map. This puts Wisconsin on the map. It is a huge deal, whether you're Republican or not. I said it's not about being red or blue, it's about green. This brings tremendous money and attention to Milwaukee. and to southeastern Wisconsin, that's a big deal.
You get to work with young people, young conservatives. Can you speak to that and how your group here is taking in this experience?
We're proud to be a partner at Young America's Foundation. We're actually going to hold a block party. You can see right behind me where they're setting up. Hopefully the weather's as nice as it is right now, not quite as hot as it's forecast for on Wednesday. But being a partner means that we've had kids on Fox News already this week. They're going to be on panels all throughout the week. We taped a number of questions at a recent conference, and Brett Baer and Martha McCollum will be able to use some of those questions to actually have a student ask by video one of the things that's on their mind, whether it's the economy, whether it's something personal like the border, whatever it might be. They're going to get to ask questions that are important to them and other young people. That is just so exciting to see young people have an impact on who the next president is.
Can any of these candidates beat Joe Biden in 2024?
Hands down, absolutely. I think whether it's President Trump or any of the others are going to be here on Wednesday, but they got to stay focused on the issues. There's going to be a lot of people trying to get them off the mark. My advice is don't take the bait. Keep talking about things that people care about. Talk about what it costs to fill your gas tank. Talk about what it costs to fill your grocery cart, to pay for your rent, to pay your mortgage. Those are the things people care about. And surprisingly, we just did a national poll through Young America's Foundation, and even amongst college and high school age students, those voters out there just in the voting booth for the first time, the number one issue on their list was the economy. So keep talking about ways that you can make it affordable to live in America.
Anything else I didn't ask you want to get out? Governor Walker, thank you so much. That was wonderful. You're still going to have this event in the high heat on Wednesday, right?
Yep. Yeah, we're just looking now because it'll be about this time in the afternoon. So we think the shade will help out tremendously, and hopefully there'll be a little breeze like there is now.